was reading about how Kat Von D threw out all her black magic sort of paraphernalia. Got rid of anything that was like dark and satanic or whatever, which is a good move. She said that it had to do with her kid, having a kid around, which makes sense because those things will go right for that kid. The way black magic works, basically, 95% of it is protective spells. Like, and the protection and the protective spells are there to protect you from the other 5% of the magic you're doing, which is basically demon summoning, so that they can do your bidding in some way or give you some kind of power or something. But the thing is, you don't really control them, like they do in stories. It's more like, all right, I want to take this house down, so I'm going to bring the Tasmanian devil in a cage, and I'm going to open that cage and let him take the house down. And so, to keep him from taking me apart after that, I got to put up all these barriers, right? That's the 95% of the other magic you're doing. So it's a lot of work for really little reward. In my opinion, I'm sure there's some people that would disagree with all that, but they'd be wrong. I have around my house like spooky type stuff, but it's more like in a tongue-in-cheek kind of gothy type stuff, like skeletons or just Halloweenish type of things. In fact, a lot of the stuff I have around the house I get during Halloween time. But I don't really have any actual magical books or anything. The only books I have that would probably have any kind of power is a small collection of holy books. I have, different editions of the Bible, and other books from other languages, like the Book of Mormon. Just a small collection. I see those as weapons, stockpiling weapons. Some people get guns. I get holy books because you absolutely can use them for weapons, just like this. Could I get it there? Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's upside down. You get the idea. I got a couple of these on me, and they've come in handy. Sometimes just using the name Jesus Christ will scare off these entities. They don't like the name. And again, it's like whether or not he was a real guy or whether or not he existed. Over the years, people have put a lot of good energy and a lot of prayer into this name and this character or this person. So whether or not he existed before, he exists in some way now, and it's created like a power word to drive those things away. I've seen it, I've used it, and I've gotten rid of entities that way. They'll just leave. They'll get out of the area. And when I mean entities within people, inside people's bodies. Demonic entities are incorporeal. You don't see them. They can go in people's bodies. It's the only way you can interact with them. And yeah. So I reconnected with a friend of mine that had a lot of experiences here with me a couple of years ago. So I'm gonna hopefully try to get some videos of us telling some of those stories. I told a couple of them, but about the demonic interactions I've had, mainly in Chinatown here, although around here as well. The major ones was usually with him, but it's been hard to get him down because he lives up north now. But so hopefully I can get that done soon. But yeah, there's a couple other people. I was reading a book. I was reading a book by David J. from Bauhaus. And in 2006, he threw away all his stuff too. He threw it in the ocean, all his fetishes and trinkets and things that he would use. And he has a great book. I'll put it up on the screen because I don't remember the name of it. Whatever. It's a good book though. It's about his time in Bauhaus, but most of the book is about his history with black magic and how he's used it over the years, what he used it for. And there's a really funny story about him and comic book writer Alan Moore, who was a friend of his and also a magician, where they took some LSD and summoned this demon at his house one night. And it goes a little bit wrong. And it's probably wasn't funny at the time, but it's funny to read now. But yeah, he dumped his stuff, and he didn't really say why. Well, he didn't say exactly why, but he's trying to, I guess at one point he decided he would need to change his life and follow light and, you know, go surrender to God. But I don't know if there was an incident that put him in this direction. I know he met some people in Los Angeles that kind of helped him get out of it. But yeah, I think you're going to see more of that as things ramp up and people begin to understand exactly what that stuff does. I mean, it's definitely a cool aesthetic, I guess, you know, if you're trying to be like dark and edgy. But when rubber hits the road, it's not good stuff to have around. I mean, it's at the end of the day, if you're following that stuff, you have to be okay with hurting children. So it's like, yeah, how far do you want to take that? Because that child sacrifice and child rape and all this other stuff is absolutely a part of that whole deal. You know, just look at Crowley's stuff. He's the ultimate edgelord, Crowley. It's funny because people always talk about him like, you know, the wickedest man ever. No, you read about some of his stuff sometime. He's just an edgelord. He's an edgelord. One of the funniest things ever was he had a magic duel with some other guy and his kind of whatever cult or his sect. I think they were OTO guys. This is a long time ago. I did the Crowley deep dive. We had some magical duel, and you know, stories, telephone call. You know, it happens this way, but by the time it gets through a bunch of people, the story is built on and built on, and it's always been described as like some crazy like magic duel they had. And there was a person that was there that was like, no, they were just standing on the stairs staring at each other, making hand gestures, and then Crowley fell down the stairs drunk. Pretty funny stuff, man. He's you know, he's a try-hard edgelord. He stumbled into some interesting information, but he was just I'm not impressed with Crowley at all. But yeah, a magic duel. Yeah, look, you're not going to see anything. It's not like you know, Doctor Strange or something, like where you're going to see these big lights, or it's going to be two idiots standing there like staring at each other, moving their hands around. Because anything you create, as far as a construct, or as far as like what is that called? It's early. Anyway, whatever you're creating to try to bear down on the 3D, on the realm we're in here, it's just in your mind. And what you're trying to do is create it as solidly in your mind as you can, so that it has a bearing here. So even if the guy is a super duper magician, even if they both are, you're still not going to see anything. It's going to look like two tards like making hand signals at each other, which is what it was. And then Crowley took a dive down the stairs. She was fucking drunk. Yeah, if you read a lot of that stuff, it'll demystify the whole Crowley thing. But yeah, good for that Kat Von D for getting rid of that stuff. You know, you can't have that stuff around, especially with kids around, you know, because it's like the end game is like, I don't know, are you willing to hurt children? Because it's a big part of it in some way, you know, and it ranges everything from, you know, minor emotional abuse to sexual abuse and murder. I don't know, unless you're down with that, then you should probably get out of it. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.